One of the things that we try to explain to people is that when you buy a business, you're probably thinking it's a financial transaction. You're probably thinking it's all about dollars and cents and income and locations of businesses. So it's not about any of that stuff when you first start out. Buying a business is first and foremost a psychological transaction. People want to do business with people they like, trust, and respect. And your first job when you negotiate with a seller, when you meet them for that first time, is to establish with that seller something that I refer to as a cosmic bond. Your job is to introduce yourself to the seller, not talk money, terms, price, nothing like that. You want to talk with things that are as simple as, hey, John, how did you get started in this business? What led to your success? If I were to invest another $1 million in this business, what would it be used for? How would you grow the business? What you're doing is you're asking him questions about the love of his life, his business. It's his child. He nurtured it from infancy, or she nurtured it from infancy. They care about this business. They want it to end up in the hands of somebody who will continue it in the way in which they originally invented this business. And they want it to have the same values. They want it to have the same type of commitment to the customers, to their community. These are people who love their business, love their customers, or they wouldn't have been successful. So they're looking, even if it's not a conscious thought on their mind, they're actually in their heart looking for somebody. They want to own this business and grow with it from here. It's kind of like you're putting your child up for adoption. You want to know who the parent's going to be. You want to know who's going to take care of it. So that's the very first thing that you establish with the seller, is that cosmic bond, that the two of you like each other, trust each other, and respect each other. And under that framing, under that positioning, now everything else you do gets easy. In any negotiation or the process of buying a business, there's going to come a time when closing the deal or getting it put together is going to become difficult. Either the lenders don't show up on time, so now you've gone past the time that the deal's supposed to close. Well, if you built this cosmic bond with the seller, the two of you are communicating with each other. Everybody understands what the challenges are. And that cosmic bond becomes like the glue that holds you together through any diversity that you incur in the actual acquisition of the business. So that's number one. It's the most important single thing you will do in the acquiring of business. With respect to the rest of the process of negotiating with the seller, if you try to tell a seller in negotiating a price with a seller, if you try and tell them that this business isn't worth as much as they're asking for it, it's worth substantially less, which it may be. And in fact, it probably is worth a lot less. Most sellers tend to be overly optimistic about what this business is worth, because remember, they built it from infancy, right? They went through all of changing its diapers and through its flus and all the things that went wrong with business until they finally got it healthy. Okay, so this is a love of their life, and they're going to sell it right now. And to them, it's worth a fortune. And also, it's been paying all their personal bills all these years. And so when they sell it, they got to get enough money for the sale of this business. So it's going to carry on their lifestyle, even though they're not working anymore. So all of these things are going to be true for the seller. And yet you've got to convince that seller that the business is not worth as much as they think it is. Well, there are techniques to that. And one of them is the use of some tools that are authoritative about pricing of businesses and how they're valued. And one of them we've reduced down into a tool that we call the business price calculator, which goes through all the elements of value in a business, what creates them, looks at 4 different pricing methods for a business, one of which was developed by the Internal Revenue Service for valuing businesses that are part of an estate. In other words, the business isn't getting sold, so there's no price on the business, but now what's it worth? And the IRS is not wanting to underprice that business, because if they're going to determine the amount of estate tax that's due, they'd rather have a high price on the business than a low price. So this particular pricing mechanism tends to be favorable in terms of a higher price on the business, highest justifiable price. Now, when you go through that and you, together with the seller, go through the formula, and they bought into the logic that this is an authoritative way to price a business, not at its low, but at its high. And you've gone through all the elements with them, and they can scratch their head a little bit and see, oh, okay, I understand why this business's value is what it is, and why this would be a high value for the business, not low. And then the other 3 pricing methods are kind of a return on investment. If I'm an investor, and I put up X amount of dollars, which is the price of the business. What kind of return am I going to want on my investment that I can earn what is earned by your business? Because if I can't, with the money it takes me to buy your business, if I put that in a different investment and I can earn more money with it, why should I buy your business and have all the challenges of running the business and the risk of running the business when I can put it in an alternate investment and actually make more money? So that bears on the price. And I could go through some other techniques or methods with you, but the point is simply this. You should know all of the various methods for pricing a business. You should know the logic behind them and the rationale and who uses them and why they're authoritative, so that you can sit down without arguing with the seller, without embarrassing yourself in terms of underestimating the value of the business or hurting yourself by overestimating the value of the business. You owe it to yourself to understand what makes a business have value. And just to put it simply, the only thing that really values a business is a thing called cash flow or earnings. What kind of cash flow and earnings does that business put out? That's the single biggest determining factor in a business. All of the things, well, it's on the best corner it has the best location, it's on the best corner in the city, it doesn't mean anything if that can't translate into profit. So the value of the business is not its location, it's not its assets, it's not any of those things. It's what kind of earnings does it produce? That's what determines its value. And you need to understand those valuing factors and make sure that you can communicate them cohesively and in a warm and friendly way with that seller, because you want to continue to build that cosmic bond of liking, trusting, and respecting each other.